first of all, we're at war. And so everything that comes in or goes out that's controlled by Hamas is supposed to be, viewed as something that's going to Hamas, because that's true. Aside from that, we've seen lots and lots of reports of the fact that the fuel that's in the trucks are coming into Gaza for no particular reason with their tanks topped off. They're completely filled. And as soon as they get in, Hamas personnel come in and siphon off all of the fuel, and they
Yeah.
leave Gaza completely empty. So that's one thing. And that's basically the same as giving them weapons, because their entire tunnel infrastructure operates on petrol. So you're bringing in petrol to enable them to continue to wage war against Israel. That's military resupply of Gaza, of Hamas. No matter how you look at it, you
Yeah.
also see all of these stories of Gazans complaining that the so-called humanitarian aid that goes to UN facilities, which are also controlled by Hamas, is then found sold in public markets with price gouging. So this isn't humanitarian aid. This is just another way for Hamas to make
Right.
money and for Hamas to resupply.
When would you envisage the Erez crossing to the north opening up again?
After we win the war.
Right, so that could be months away.
Whenever it is. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not going to allow any of these people into Israel. They just slaughtered 1,400 Israelis. They have over 200 Israelis, including 30 children, hostages in Gaza. Why on earth would we let any of them into Israel? That would be insane.
Just a final one here, Caroline, on these comments from UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres responding to this attack on the Jabalia refugee camp. Well, his spokesperson has said that he's appalled by the escalating violence in Gaza, which includes the killing of Palestinians, women and children. I mean, interesting that there's no mention of Hamas at all in this statement. But what are your thoughts on Guterres' comments overnight?
I think that Guterres and the UN in general is acting as just an auxiliary force of Hamas in this war. Guterres's remarks at the UN Security Council, I think last week, were morally reprehensible, when he said, let's put the slaughter of 1,400 Jews into a framework where we can criminalize Israel and blame it for the massacre of its own people. I mean, this is just, it was pure Jew hatred. It was absolute bigotry against our people, and it was inexcusable and unforgivable. So as far as I'm concerned, nothing he says has any meaning. And as for the fighting in Jabalia refugee camp, no, I mean, we uncovered a massive underground tunnel complex that collapsed buildings when we were able to hit it, and they were all terrorists inside. And so, this is everything, right? It doesn't matter. You're military aged, you're armed, you're calling out Allahu Akbar and slaughter the Jews. You're an innocent civilian as far as the UN is concerned. And, you're not allowed to be targeted by Israel. And it doesn't matter if you're actually shooting Jews while you're killed. It's completely morally atrocious. And really, we have no patience for the UN at this point.